1. Mr. Robinson never went to a dentist because he was afraid, but then his teeth began hurting a lot, and he went to a dentist. The dentist did a lot of work in his mouth for a long time. On the last day, Mr. Robinson said to him, "How much is all this work going to cost?" The dentist said, £25. But he did not ask him for the money. After a month, Mr. Robinson phoned the dentist and said, "You haven't asked me for name for your work last month." The dentist answered, "I never ask a gentleman for money. And how do you live?" Mr. Robinson asked, "Most gentlemen pay me quickly," the dentist said, "but some don't. I wait for my money for 2 months, and then I say, 'That man isn't a gentleman.' And then I ask him for my money." 2. Bill likes football very much, and he often goes to matches in our town on Saturdays. He does not go to the best seats, because they are very expensive, and he does not see his Irians there. There was a big Ibit match in our town last Saturday. First it was very cold and cloudy, but then the sun shone, and it was very hot. There were a lot of people on benches round Bill at the match. Bill was on one bench, and there was a fat man on a bench behind him. First the fat man was cold, but then he was very hot. He took his coat off and put it in front of him, but it fell on Bill's head. Bill was not angry. He took the coat off his head, looked at it, and then smiled and said, "Thank you, but where are the trousers?"
3. George was 60 years old, and he was ill. He was always tired, and his face was always very red. He did not like doctors, but last month his wife said to him, "Don't be stupid, George. Go and see Dr. Brown." George said, "No," but last week he was worse, and he went to the doctor. Dr. Brown examined him and then said to him, "You drink too much. Stop drinking whiskey, and drink milk." George liked whiskey, and he did not like milk. "TM not a baby," he always said to his wife. Now he looked at Dr. Brown and said, "But drinking milk is dangerous, doctor." The doctor laughed and said, "Dangerous? How can drinking milk be dangerous?" "Well, doctor," George said, "it killed one of my best ewes last year." The doctor laughed again and said, "How did it do that?" "The cow fell on him," George said. For Mr. White has a small shop in the middle of our town, and he sells pictures in it. They are not expensive ones, but some of them are pretty. Last Saturday a woman came into the shop and looked at a lot of pictures. Then she took Mr. White to one of them and said, "How much do you want for this one?" It was a picture of horse in a field. Mr. White looked at it for a few seconds and then went and brought his book. He opened it, looked at the first page and then said, "I want £20 for that one." The woman shut her eyes for a few seconds and then said, "I can give you £2 for it." £2? Mr. White said angrily, £2? But the canvas cost more than £2. "Oh. But it was clean then," the woman said.
5. Miss Green had a heavy cupboard in her bedroom. Last Sunday she said, "I don't like this cupboard in my bedroom. The bedroom's very smally and the cupboard's very big. I'm going to put it in a bigger room." But the cupboard was very heavy, and Miss Green was not very strong. She went to 2 of her neighbors and said, "Please carry the cupboard for me." Then she went and made some tea for them. The 2 men carried the heavy cupboard out of Miss Green's bedroom and came to the stairs. One of them was in front of the cupboard, and the other was behind it. They pushed and pulled for a long time, and then they put the cupboard down. Well, one of the men said to the other, "We're never going to get this cupboard upstairs." "Upstairs?" the other man said. "Aren't we taking it downstairs?"